So the Armory update has been out for a couple of weeks now, and I hope we've all been having a good experience with it. I hope we've all been having fun, playing the game, earning stars, gambling on our favorite collections, checking out all the different charms, pulling some stickers, getting some kind of trash Desert Eagle heat treated or whatever. But obviously, the longer that the Armory Pass is out and the longer that this whole thing is out and exists, there's going to be more and more people talking about and asking about the long-term investing potential of this and whether or not they should be investing in the Armory Pass items. I am Jeremy, a CS2 collector, investor, and cash trader, and that is what we're going to be talking about today, trying to answer this question of should you invest in the Armory Pass items, and if you're going to do so, what would be the best ways or the best items maybe to do so with as well. But first, of course, as always, just want to mention my cash trading business. If you guys are looking to sell any of your CS2 items, turn them into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. We like buying knives, gloves, cool skins, whatever you guys are looking to get into cash, whether you need money for IRL stuff or just to switch up your portfolio, inventory, whatever. You can see here we've gotten deals done for a couple of different knives over the past couple of days, which has been really cool. Patches, stickers, capsules, agents, whatever you guys might have. And of course, by selling them, you're helping support me, my channel, and my content. With that being said, let's get right into this video today. We are talking about this stuff. We are talking about these Armory items and whether or not they're going to be a good investment, because this is a huge question. Obviously, this is mostly a CS2 investing channel. A lot of people here are skin nerds or, CS item nerds, and are also people trying to make money, trying to figure out the best way to invest in the long term. So I do think that there is some investing potential here. Now, obviously, one of the big questions is how long the Armory is actually going to last. And I know there's some people out there who think it's going to be, these items are going to be in there permanently. And I'm not on that train. There is then some people that think, hey, these items might be in for longer than a year or close to a year. I'm also not in that train either. I'm in the camp that thinks this thing will last somewhere around 4, 5, 6, 7 months, somewhere in there. And it's just going to be a question of, in that time, how many of these items are created and what the supplies end up being like, and also what the prices end up being like, and where the overall demand for a lot of these items are. Now, the one thing going for the Armory collection, the Armory items we have right now, as far as their investment potential, is that people cannot just go on and buy infinite amounts of these items. Now, obviously, in theory, there is an infinite supply of these possible, but the fact that you cannot just pull out your credit card and buy 10,000 of your favorite item or buy 1,000,000 stars or whatever, you actually have to buy the passes and play the game, and Valve has actually cracked down on, people exploiting this stuff and doing different things. They've patched different methods for getting stars. That is very, very good for the long-term potential. That means we're going to end up with less items overall than obviously we would if you could just buy a bunch of stars, or if they even left, the exploited lobbies and stuff in the game and didn't punish all those people. Those items that were created are obviously going to hit the markets in a year from now or whatever, but still, they tackled the problem pretty early, and hopefully it didn't allow it to get too out of control. But obviously, when you compare the Armory to something like past operations or whatever, we also have a lot more players now than we did back then, which means there will be some arguments made for that there's going to be too many of these items created. But also, again, there's so many different ways to spend your stars, where some of the stars are not going to be spent most efficiently. Some stars are going to be spent, obviously, a lot of stars are going to be spent on the collections and trying to get that fade. I know a lot of stars were spent on the Desert Eagle heat treated, especially since it costs so many stars. So maybe there's some potential for flying under the radar. And I did want to look at, as far as people saying, say I did want to invest in these things, when would maybe be the best time to buy? And there's so many people out there saying that, hey, you just need to wait because these prices are going to keep going down and down and down and down and down and down. And is this necessarily true? Like, until they're removed from the thing. So I wanted to look back at Operation Riptide items to see if that was the case. And we can see here that when I Googled it, Google says Operation Riptide lasted from September 21st until February 21st, which this is October, November, December, January, February, 5 months. So that kind of gives you an idea, which is also why I think these items are going to be in that store for 5, 6, 7 months, somewhere in there, which I don't really think would be the end of the world. I don't think that would destroy all long-term investment ability of these things. But we can take a look here and see that, like, something like the Great Wave Foil, prices hit some kind of bottom in November or in December. So after this thing had been in the store for 1 or 2 months, Great Wave Foil hit a bottom around 94 cents or whatever. And then by the time December came around, Christmas time, it's $1.25. In January, it's up to $1.37. And then at the end of January, it's up to $2.05. This is before Operation Riptide is even done. So again, these prices didn't just go down throughout the course of Operation Riptide. These prices went down as people were redeeming a bunch of items at the beginning. But then as they went on, especially an item like a sticker, which is actually consumable, prices then did start to rebound as people probably lost enthusiasm and weren't necessarily redeeming as many items and stuff. And this is a general trend that has been followed with a lot of these different items. You can see here, Bloody Daryl the Strapped hits a bottom around December, $3.20. And then, before these items even get removed in the beginning of February, he's $4.50. He had a nice little rebound. Prices didn't just continue to drop and drop and drop. We have something like the AK-47 Gold Arabesque. The prices are pretty flat on this. Obviously, it's a pretty liquid item, but we can see here, end of October, middle of November, it's like 1,100, and then we fast forward to the beginning of February, and it's 1,300. So the Gold Arabesque wasn't an item that just continued to drop and prices continue to plummet. So when you're looking at something like the M4A1S Fade, it's possible we could hit a bottom, in like November or December, and that then prices could begin to rebound actually in the beginning of 2025. That is very, very, very possible. I don't think M4A1S Fade prices are just going to go from 1,000 to 500 to 400 to 300 to 200, and like if this stays out, it's going to be $100. Like no, people want the new hype items at the beginning. They redeem. Then eventually the battle pass or any operation or whatever gets kind of stale. People start to redeem less, and then prices kind of start to rebound. That's what I'm seeing as a trend for a lot of these items. Not necessarily for the Operation Riptide case. It did hit a bottom like 49 cents in December, but then it went back down to 49 cents in January. Right before this thing went out of, before this thing was removed, it was still like 57 cents, 60 cents or whatever. So I don't know. The case is also kind of flattened and kind of randomly went up and down. And then we had something like the Bayonet Frog Patch, which again in like December was $1.61. Is insane. It's like a $500, $600 item right now. $1.61 in December, and then same thing here. At the beginning of February, this thing's up to $4.57. So that's just kind of keeping in mind if you do want to invest in gallery items or whatever these new items that we have in CS right now in the Armory items. You have a couple of different options. One, you could wait until we hopefully see some kind of bottom in like November or December. Or January, and I do think that prices will generally just kind of increase over time if you think these things are going to get removed in like 6 months. Now, if you think they're going to be in the store for longer than 6 months, then hey, you should probably stay away from these as an investment. You should probably wait and see. Now, the other option we have is you can actually just wait until these things are actually removed from like the rotation, either from the Armory or we get new Armory items or whatever, and then you could just start to look at prices and start to look at what the best investments might be. I know there is like a saying in investing, in traditional investing, that it's better to be late than it is to be wrong. So depending on how much risk potential you want and how high the reward potential you want is, you could just wait and buy some of your favorite items or whatever items you think are underpriced or underutilized in a couple months. Or you could just wait until these items are fully removed, and then the prices are going to spike up a little bit. You might not get the exact bottom of prices, but you'll at least know what the overall supplies of these items are and how long they were in the store before you actually invest. Now, as far as what have historically been the best things to invest in, this is operations as far as their unboxing ROI. This is the amount of ROI we've seen on them, like if you had unboxed them and then held them to today. So we can see here the best things historically were obviously patches and agents, which we don't have any of those, but Operation Riptide patches got a ton of ROI, agents got a ton of ROI. Then you actually see here Operation Riptide stickers have been very, very good. Then we have the Riptide Surf Shop stickers, which had also been very, very good. We saw some more patches. We had another sticker collection. We have, some more agents, and then we have all the collections down here. So again, it does seem like if you wanted to invest in some things, obviously investing in items or investing in skins and guns doesn't necessarily seem to be the way to go. Now, I'm sure there are some lower tier skins in these collections that have done better than just the entire collections overall. And if you did want to invest in some of the Armory stuff, it is possible that a couple of months from now, we could see, especially I think the Sport and Field collection, since a lot of people are always going to be going after that M4A1S Fade and wanting to trade up into it and stuff. I could see if you wanted to, a couple months from now, maybe look at like investing in the Mag 7 Wildwood or getting this FAMAS half sleeve or whatever. Like there's 7 cents right now. If these things go down to 3, 4, 5 cents, I could see maybe loading up on a ton of them. They could end up being a decent investment. But from what we've seen, investing in like the M4A1S Fade isn't as profitable as finding the best stickers. Now, again, are charms going to end up being as good as stickers? They end up being better, worse? I don't know. I think charms will probably end up being somewhere in the middle, and I do think overall stickers would still probably be the best investment. But for me, if I was going to invest in the Armory items, and I'm still not really sure, I'm still kind of undecided, I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out, I do think I would be looking at picking up probably stickers, something like the Elemental Craft sticker collection a couple of months from now, maybe sometime in December, especially some of these lower tier ones. If some of these good looking lower tier ones like the Hydro Wave or the Scorch Loop or the Winding Scorch or something like that, if those do end up dropping down in price, getting really, really, really cheap sometime in December, maybe picking up a bunch of those and just kind of holding them for the long term, I think they could do good. But again, there is so many variables that we still don't know at this point. We don't know how long these are going to last. We don't know what the supplies of these overall are going to be. But I do think there is some investing potential in here because of the fact that people can't just go and buy as many stars as possible. But again, Valve could definitely make up for that by leaving these in the store for like a year or 2 years or whatever. They can do whatever the heck they want. But again, right now, I don't think we have complete information. But I will say, if you do want to buy stuff, it does seem like prices will probably hit a bottom within the next couple of months. Prices will start to go up even while these items are still in the shop. And that could be a big buying opportunity for you to pick up your favorite items. I think if you get some good charms, if you get some good stickers, there is big potential there. But again, the collection items overall don't really seem like a great way to go. And I also think cases are going to be really, really good, but I don't think you're in as much of a hurry to go after cases because again, what we saw from Operation Riptide cases is the case prices stayed pretty flat until, things actually started to get removed. And then obviously things started going crazy from there. And we've seen the insane rise up of like discontinued cases. So honestly, one of my top investments from this whole thing would be cases. I still think the gallery case, especially if it goes discontinued, is an amazing investment. And I do think stuff like the Elemental Craft stickers a couple months from now, if we do see prices continue to drop, could end up being very, very good as well. And overall, I think some of these items could definitely be worth taking a risk on, and I definitely don't think you would be insane for investing in Operation or whatever, the gallery items or the Armory items. I keep wanting to call it the gallery, Armory, whatever, but that's kind of my take on things for right now. Again, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep my eye on stuff for the next couple of months, and I might even wait until these items get rotated out entirely. I don't think that's a terrible strategy, but yeah, kind of my take on things for right now. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.